My dear student, Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? Hope you all are fine by the grace of Almighty. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Masud Tariq, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography, Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. I welcome you all to my today's online class. I think it will help you to take better preparation at home and also for upcoming exam. Today, I am going to discuss about chapter 5 of your busiest subject. That means chapter 5, the rivers of Bangladesh and natural resources. I am going to discuss about this chapter. My today's topic is forest. So, if you want to know about forest, you should know first some concept and definition. Firstly, what is forest? Secondly, what is forest-borne resources? And thirdly, classification of forest. So, it is better to know now what is forest. If you want to know what is forest, you should know what we can get from forest. We can get from forest different type of trees, wood, honey, beeswax and different types of animals. So, through this concept, we can define forest. Can you tell me what is the definition of forest? So, now through this concept, we can define forest. Where the trees grow in plenty is called forest. Again, if anybody asks you what is forest, then the answer is where the trees grow in plenty is called forest. Now, second one, what is forest-borne resources? The resources that we can get from forest is called the forest-borne resources like timber, wood, honey, beeswax, different types of animals. It is also known as a forest-borne resources. But in Bangladesh, we don't have sufficient forest, but for ecological balance, every country should have minimum 20 to 25% of forest. Every country minimum should have 20 to 25% of forest of our total land for ecological balance. Important question, please make a note of it. Important question is, it is very important for MCQ question and knowledge based question. For ecological balance, every country should have what percentage of forest? For ecological balance, every country should have 20 to 25% of forest. But in Bangladesh, it is only 13% because increasing number of people required huge amount of timber to make their houses and furniture. For this reason, every year we collect huge amount of timber from the forest. That's why gradually the forest of Bangladesh decreasing in an alarming rate. But in different parts of Bangladesh, we can see different types of forest. So, on the basis of climate and variety of soil, forest of Bangladesh can be classified into 4 categories. Remember, mark it, it is very important. On the basis of climate and variety of soil, forest of Bangladesh can be classified into 4 categories. Number 1 is forest of Chattogram. Number 2 is forest of Sylhet. Number 3 is forest of Sundarban. Number 4 is forest of Dhaka, Tangail and Mymensingh. So, on the basis of climate and variety of soil, forest of Bangladesh can be classified into how many categories? 4 categories. What are the categories? Number 1, forest of Chattogram. Number 2, forest of Sylhet. Number 3, forest of Sundarban. And last one, number 4, forest of Dhaka, Tangail and Mymensingh. But remember, most important thing is, on the basis of characteristics of trees, forest of Bangladesh can be classified into 3 categories. These are the 3 categories. Number 1 is tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. Number 2 is tropical deciduous forest. And number 3 is mangrove or boron forest. But this classification, it is the classification of forest on the basis of characteristics of trees. But I said earlier, on the basis of the climate and variety of soil, forest of Bangladesh can be classified into 4 categories. But on the basis of the characteristics of trees, on the basis of the characteristics of trees, the forest of Bangladesh can be classified into 3 categories. These 3 categories are tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, tropical deciduous forest, and last one is mangrove or boron forest. Now, you have to know what is tropical evergreen and deciduous forest and in which part of Bangladesh this type of tropical evergreen and deciduous forest can be seen. And you have to know what is tropical deciduous forest and in which part of Bangladesh tropical deciduous forest can be seen, and what is mangrove or boron forest and in which part of Bangladesh we can see the mangrove or boron forest. Now, I am going to discuss about 3 types of forest. Now, see the description of these 3 types of forest. Now, I am going to discuss about different types of forest on the basis of characteristics of trees. I am going to show different types of forest in the map of Bangladesh, but this map you have to know what is north. This is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. It is necessary to know the location of different sites. The north side, this is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. So, there are 3 types of forest: tropical and evergreen and deciduous forest, number 2 tropical deciduous forest, and number 3 is mangrove or boron forest. Number 1, where we can see the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest in the map of Bangladesh. In the map of Bangladesh, this area, in this area, we can see tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. But you have to know, in this region we can see which districts of Bangladesh, and in this part of Bangladesh we can see which districts of Bangladesh. It is very important place of Bangladesh because the districts of hill tracts is also situated in this area. So, we can see Khagrachuri, Rangamati, Bandarban, Coxbazar and Chattogram districts in this part of Bangladesh, and we also see Sylhet, Molibazar, Hobiganj, Sonamganj, Netrokona, Mymensingh and Sherpur district in this area. It is also known as a part of northeastern part of Bangladesh, and it is also known as a southeastern part of Bangladesh. So, in this north and northeastern part of Bangladesh, we can see the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, and in this southeastern part of Bangladesh, we also see the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. So, we can say Sylhet, Molibazar, Hobiganj, Sonamganj, Netrokona, Mymensingh and Sherpur districts comprises the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, and also Khagrachuri, Rangamati, Bandarban, Coxbazar and Chattogram district comprise the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. But important question is why we can see the forest of this area is called tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. Why we can call it tropical? We know an important international line passes over the middle of Bangladesh. The value of line is 23.5 degree north latitude, and this 25 degree north latitude is also known as a Tropic of Cancer. So, as Tropic of Cancer passes over the middle of Bangladesh, that's why Bangladesh is a tropical region. So, why it is called evergreen? It is called evergreen because all the leaves of the trees do not sprout or fall down at a time. That's why this forest looks evergreen all the year round. That's why it is called evergreen forest. Again, why the forest of Chattogram, Khagrachuri, Rangamati, Bandarban and Coxbazar is called the tropical evergreen forest, or why is the forest of Sylhet, Moulibazar, Hobiganj, Moyamensingh, Netrokona and Sherpur is called the tropical evergreen forest. Why it is called tropical evergreen? Because all the leaves of these trees do not sprout or fall down at a time. That's why this forest looks evergreen all the year round. That's why it is called the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. So, in which districts of Bangladesh we can see tropical evergreen and deciduous forest? In the hilly districts of Bangladesh. We also know the land configuration of Bangladesh. Land configuration of Bangladesh can be classified into three categories. One is hills of tertiaries. In the hills of tertiaries, we can see the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. Where we can see the hills of tertiaries? We can see the hills of tertiaries in two parts. That means hills of tertiaries can be divided into two categories. One is hills of north and northeastern region, another one is hills of the southeastern region. So, tropical evergreen can be seen in the hills of tertiaries. So, hills of tertiaries can be classified into how many categories? Two categories, northeastern region and hills of southeastern region. So, in the northeastern region and in the southeastern region, we can see tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. What type of tree we can see in tropical evergreen and deciduous forest? Creeping types, different types of trees, creeping plants, shrubs, herbs grow in plenty in this hot and moist area, and this besides these trees we can see also different types of trees in this forest area. The trees are important trees are chapalish, moyna, telshur, mahogany, jarul, segun and gorgon. Besides these trees, bamboo and cane grow in plenty in the hilly area of the Sylhet, and also at present rubber can be cultivated in the hilly districts of Chattogram and Sylhet too. So, this forest area is very important for the economy of Bangladesh, and different types of trees can be found in this forest area, and the total area of this forest is 14,000 square kilometer. Remember, it is most important. The total area of this forest 14,000 square kilometer. Remember, square kilometer. If anybody asks you what is the total area of the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, then you can tell the answer 14,000 square kilometer. So, important question related to the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. In which part of Bangladesh we can see the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest? We can see two parts of Bangladesh, hills of northeastern region and hills of southeastern region. We can see tropical evergreen and deciduous forest in the northeastern hills of northeastern region and hills of the southeastern region. Which districts are also situated in the northeastern region? Silet, Molibazar, Hobbyganj, Sonamganj, Netrokona, Moymonsingo and Sherpur districts. Which district we can see the southeastern region? Khagrachuri, Rangamati, Bandarban, Coxbazar and Chattogram districts. So, if anybody asks you in which part of Bangladesh we can see the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, then you will answer. And if anybody asks you why this forest of this land is called the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, because the leaves of the trees do not sprout or fall down at a time. That's why the forest of this area looks evergreen all the year round. That's why it is called the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. And what type of trees we can see in this forest? Different types of trees we can see in this forest: creeping plants, shrubs, herbs, chapalish, telshur, mehogany, jarul, shegun, gorgon, etc. we can see in this forest area. Besides, bamboo and cane grow in plenty in the hilly district of Sylhet, and at present rubber is also cultivated in the Sylhet and Chittagong too. And the total area of this forest is 14,000 square kilometer. So, tropical evergreen and deciduous forest complete. Now, I am going to discuss about tropical deciduous forest. In which part of Bangladesh we can see the tropical evergreen and tropical deciduous forest? We can see tropical deciduous forest in this part of Bangladesh. This is the area where we can see the tropical deciduous forest, especially Rangpur and Dinajpur, and also Bogora and Joypurhat we can see the tropical deciduous forest. And also we can see in this area tropical deciduous forest. In this area, which districts are also situated? Dhaka, Tangail and Mymensingh. And some deciduous forest can be seen in this area. It is also known as the Lalma Hills, which is situated in the Kumilla district. So, in these three parts we can see the tropical deciduous forest. So, in which districts? Rajshahi, Rangpur, Dinajpur, Bogora, Joypurhat, and also Mymensingh, Tangail, Gazipur, and also in Kumilla district we can see the tropical deciduous forest. Why it is called deciduous forest? Because it is called deciduous forest because all the leaves of the trees fall down at a time once in a year, especially in winter. That's why this forest is called the tropical deciduous forest. And again, why the forest of Dhaka, Tangail, Mymensingh, or Rangpur, Dinajpur, or Bogora, Joypurhat, or forest of Lalma Hills is called the tropical deciduous forest? Because all the leaves of the trees fall down at a time once in a year, especially in winter. That's why it is called the tropical deciduous forest. What type of tree we can see in this forest? We see shal, gojari, korui, bohera, horituki, hizol, shirish, jackfruit and neem also can be seen in this forest. But as shal is the main trees of this forest, that's why this forest is known as a shal forest. But the forest of Mymensingh, Tangail and Gazipur is known as a forest of Madhupur, Bhaolgarh, forest land of Madhupur and Bhawar, and the forest of Rangpur and Dinajpur is also known as a forest of Barendra. So, important question related to the tropical deciduous forest is in which part of Bangladesh we can see the tropical deciduous forest? We can see tropical deciduous forest Rangpur, Dinajpur, Dhaka, Mymensingh and Tangai, and also in Kumila district. What type of tree we can see in this forest? We also see shal, gojari, koroi, bhoera, horitoki, shirish, and jackfruit, neem also can be seen in this forest. And shal is the main trees of this forest. That's why the name of the forest is also known as a shal forest. So, what is tropical deciduous forest? Complete. Why we call it tropical deciduous forest? What type of trees we can get in from this forest? Now, I am going to discuss about Sundarban. Where we can see Sundarban? In this part of Bangladesh, we can see Sundarban. So, question is, in how many districts we can see Sundarban? In 5 districts. We can see Sundarban, or Sundarban is situated in 5 districts. The districts are Satkira, Khulna, Patuakhali, Barguna. Again, the 5 districts are Satkira, Khulna, Bagherhat, Patuakhali and Barguna. In this area, we can see mangrove or Goran forest. Why it is called mangrove or Goran forest? Because trees grow in plenty in the wet and salty soil washed by ebb and flow of sea near the seashore of Chattogram and Noakhali to the southwest part of Bangladesh. That's why it is known as a mangrove or Goran forest. So, if anybody asks you what is called mangrove or Goran forest, then you can give the answer. What is the answer? Trees grow in plenty in the wet and salty soil washed by ebb and flow of sea near the seashore of Chattogram, Khulna to the southwestern part of Bangladesh, and it is called the mangrove or Goran forest. It is very important for Bangladesh. In how many districts we can see mangrove or Goran forest? In 5 districts. The districts are Satkira, Khulna, Bagherhat, Patuakhali and Barguna. In these 5 districts we can see mangrove or Goran forest. And in this forest, what type of tree we can see? We can see different types of trees, especially Sunduri, Gyawa, Gulpata, Poshur, Dundol, Keura, Goran, Bayan, etc. As Sunduri is the main tree of this forest, that's why the name of forest is Sundarban. And the total area of Sundarban is 4,192 square kilometer. So, the question maybe in the question paper, you can get question like in this way. It may be marked by A, it may be marked as B, it may be marked as C, or we can use different types of letter. If it is said in the question paper, a marked area indicate what type of forest of Bangladesh, describe a marked forest, or B marked forest indicate what type of forest of Bangladesh, describe B marked forest, or C marked forest area indicate what type of forest, describe or what you know about C marked forest. If I ask you A indicate what type of forest, the answer is tropical evergreen and deciduous forest. If I ask you B indicate what type of forest, then you can answer B indicate tropical deciduous forest. If I ask you C indicate what type of forest of Bangladesh, C indicate mangrove or Goran forest, or what you know about C marked forest. So, today we discuss about three types of forest: tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, tropical deciduous forest, and mangrove or goran forest. Side by side, we also know different types of information from this discussion. Why a marked forest is called the tropical evergreen and deciduous forest, what type of tree we can see from this forest, why B-marked forest is called the deciduous forest, what type of tree also we can get from this type of forest, and why C-marked forest is called the mangrove goran forest, and what type of tree we can see from this type of forest. So, this is the classification of forest of Bangladesh. Now, I am going to discuss about the importance of natural resources in the economy of Bangladesh. So, if you want to know the importance of natural resources in the economy of Bangladesh, you have to know what types of natural resources we have. In the economic development of Bangladesh, the importance of natural resources knows no bound, but it is the requirement to know what type of natural resources we have. We have different types of natural resources like land, water, rivers, hydroelectricity, solar energy, agricultural resources, forest-borne resources, fisheries, and different types of mineral resources. So, now you have to know how land can help us, or what is the importance of land. We know the land of Bangladesh is formed with the silts carried by the river water. As the land of Bangladesh formed with the silts carried by the river water, that's why the land of Bangladesh is very fertile for producing agricultural crops. As a result, the people of Bangladesh do not need enough money to grow agricultural crops, and it can help us, and it is very important for the economic development of Bangladesh. Second one is water. Water is most important for agriculture. Our irrigation system fully depend on water. So, it is the main ingredients to produce agricultural crops. Not only that, it is very important for all types of living beings and others. Number 3 is rivers. Another important, rivers is most important. We have different types of rivers. Through these rivers, we can transport different types of commercial goods. Near about 75% of commercial goods also transported through the rivers. Not only that, also passengers are also transported through the rivers. In this way, river can play an important role in the economy of Bangladesh. Next one is hydroelectricity. What is hydroelectricity? The electricity that is generated by using the river water or waterfall with the help of turbine, it is called the hydroelectricity. But electricity generated through the hydroelectricity is very low cost. As it is, producing cost is very low, that's why it is very important for the economy of Bangladesh. Solar energy. As Bangladesh is situated in the tropical region, that's why the sun emits rays lengthwise towards this region. That's why we don't have to stay in dark, and we don't have to spend huge amount of money for keeping our house comfortable for living. But different countries of Europe and America, they have to spend huge amount of fuel for keeping their house comfortable for living, and sun emits rays in a slanted way in this area. That's why solar energy is another important matter. Number 6 is agricultural resources. We know Bangladesh is agriculture based, and the economy of Bangladesh is also agricultural based economy. That's why the importance of agriculture knows no bound. Number 7 is forest bound resources. We have different types of forest bound resources. Every year we collect different types of resources from the forest, and it can play an important role in the economy of Bangladesh. Number 8, fisheries. We have different types of rivers, canals, pools, marshes and fens, and in these water bodies we have different types of fishes, big or small. And also Bay of Bengal is another important source of fishes of Bangladesh, and it can fulfill the demand of the nutrition. By fulfilling the demand of nutrition, we can export different types of fishes to abroad, and by exporting this type of fish we can earn huge amount of money. So it is another important ingredient. 9, mineral resources. We have different types of mineral resources like coal, gears, limestone, etc., and it is also very helpful for the economic development of Bangladesh. This is the importance of the natural resources in the economy of Bangladesh. This is much for today's online class. Thank you everybody.